everybody, and welcome to everythingvoiceover.com. My name is Justin D. Torres, and this is the fourth episode of the Everything Voiceover podcast, where we get you all the information and info that you need to start your path into a career in voiceover. Today in this episode, we're going to talk about the difference between Voices.com and Voice123. For people who don't know, I've talked about this a little bit. Voices.com and Voice123 are pay-to-play sites. Now, what this means by pay-to-play is exactly how it sounds. You pay them, and then you get auditions for actual voiceover jobs, and then if you get those jobs, it's usually 95% of the time they're asking you to be able to record the job, edit the job, and upload it to their site or a Dropbox and have them link to it and take it down, and if you have to do it again, do it again. So you're going to be producing the entire voiceover on your own. That doesn't include adding music or anything like that. Usually every client wants just the voice. Sometimes they'll ask for extra music, but I'll tell them honestly, it's just I'm only going to give you the voiceover. I'm a voiceover artist. I'm not a band. Unless you give me the music for it, I can lay it under it. But if not, I'm only going to provide you with the voiceover. So these sites are basically a middleman to get you auditions. It used to be that if you wanted to find voiceover jobs, you had to either go to an agent and audition from there, or if you were savvy, you can go out and talk to companies and see and just pound the pavement trying to get voiceover jobs from other places. Talking to production studios, advertising on like Craigslist, doing everything you needed to do to get those jobs. Voices.com and Voice123 just cuts out the whole marketing aspect of it, and you receive auditions, and then you audition, and if you get it, you go, you do it, and you get paid. Now, these two sites, Voices.com and Voice123, in order to be a part of these sites, you're going to pay a yearly fee or maybe a monthly fee, and some may only charge the fee, while others may put the money that you make in escrow and then release the money after you've done the job, and some actually take a percentage of that. That's Voices.com, which I'll tell you about in a second. The point is, you're going to require a home studio, you're going to require the ability to edit, and you need to be able to create a professional style quality job on your own, in your home, and be able to upload it yourself. Now let's get started with the brass tacks. What is the costs? Voices123 is going to cost you $395 per year. Voices.com is going to cost you $399 a year or $50 a month. Now, if you go the $50 a month route, obviously you're going to be paying about $600 a year as opposed to $399. But if you want to limp in, $50 a month might be the way to go. Now, here's a precursor to this. This is only through my experiences. I'm looking at young adult male, and middle-aged male, and I go out for just about everything from audiobooks to commercials to industrials. Occasionally there'll be a jingle needed here and there, and I don't go out for those, but I go out for just about everything, including video games and everything else. Now, the rates per job, and these are the jobs you're going to be going out for. Voices.com has a minimum of $100. It used to be $100 for the client, now it's $100 in general. And here's how it happens. When it was $100 for the client, that meant the client paid $100, and in the end, you got about $90 from it, because PayPal would take its cut, and Voices.com would take its cut as well. Since then, they have updated the payment of $120 minimum to its client, which means you get $100 at the end, and then PayPal will take its cut after that. Voice123 has no minimum, so you will be seeing free jobs, student jobs, no-pay jobs, nonprofit jobs, and you can also filter them out if you want to and say that I only want to see the higher-paying jobs. That's definitely a possibility, but if you are new and you want to check out the no-pay jobs, Voice123 has an option of those. Now, what does each company get out of it? Well, they both get the yearly fee or the monthly fee if you're Voices.com, but Voices.com gets the escrow fee per job, so it comes out to about, I want to say, a little over 10%. However, by them escrowing the money, you no longer have to come after your client for cash. You no longer have to invoice, and you'll know that the cash is there. The cash gets paid automatically after the job has released the payment, so you know you're going to get that job as long as you finish the job. Voice123 only gets the yearly fee. So Voices.com has a vested interest in getting you jobs. Voice123 has zero vested interest other than making sure that you see a certain amount of jobs every now and then. There's been times this year and last year where I've gone a whole month without getting any auditions from Voice123, and that makes me horribly angry. Number of jobs, Voices.com wins by far. Since I've been a part of Voices.com, I've auditioned for 9,409 jobs. Now, I don't know how that works with women. There may be more, there may be less, but I've auditioned for that many jobs. Now, noted, I've also missed a bunch of jobs as well and deleted a bunch of jobs as well. Voice123, unfortunately, has a system in which the auditions disappear after a certain amount of time. So there's no way to tell how many jobs I've done there. All I know is from my experience, especially over the last 3 weeks, I've only had 3 job auditions. That is horrible compared to the average of 100 job auditions per week that I get from Voices.com. Mind you, I'm going for young adult male, middle-aged male, male, and I'm also putting in for like accents as well, certain things, you never know what you can get. So Voices has edged them out and beaten them, and also has a vested interest in getting you jobs. Now when it comes to the audition process, how you get the auditions in Voice123 is through a smart cast function, which I have constantly emailed them over and over about that I hate so much. What happens is they take a look at you and how many auditions you've done and compares it to the auditions that all Voice123 people have done, and then kind of filters it out so that only a certain amount of people can go out for a certain amount of jobs. The unfortunate thing is that you may find yourself doing 8 times the amount of auditions that everyone else, and then Voice123 will be like, I'm not going to give you any jobs this month. You should not. And I repeat, and hope someone from Voice123 is listening to this, by doing that, you are punishing people who are auditioning. But then again, they have zero vested interest in getting you paid, so it really doesn't matter how many jobs you get. This may work for some people who have a daily job, and they want to make sure they're only in jobs that are maybe 20 people have auditioned for, but as I said before, there's no way to tell if jobs in Voice123 are being finalized or paid or completed because they have no function along those lines of figuring out whether the job is being done or not. Now, when it comes to Voices.com, and there's a specific process that happens. When you audition, when the audition comes through, you do it. You go to the answered section, and you get a simple thumbs up or a listened to icon, a little ear, or no icon at all, meaning that it wasn't listened to. You also, as time goes on, as you look in the answered section, these are jobs you've already auditioned for, you see the label on there as open, which means it's still open, closed means it's no longer auditioning, finalizing, meaning someone has been chosen and they're just trying to figure out the contract for them, working means someone's working on it, completed means someone did it. And those are labels on the answered jobs. So you know whether or not you're going to get that job or not, usually by the finalizing, working, completed labels that are on there. If it's open or closed, it means that either the job is still being looked at, or maybe the job has been abandoned. So at least you're seeing that certain jobs are being done. Voice123, you don't get anything close to that. You just see the job itself, and there's no way to know if the jobs are being done or not. And also, they have a way to get rid of auditions after a couple amount of weeks, so you don't even know if those jobs that you did 3 weeks ago are being seen or anything. Voice123 also has another thing that I despise. Notice this is a very biased approach, but I've been working with them for the past 5 years, same as Voices.com, maybe even more than 5 years if I think about it. So I've been pissed off at them, but I have been a member of theirs for the last 5 years, just because I'm able to make the money back. Voice123 has a 5-star approach to the auditioning process. So the client, regardless of whether they've done a lot of business, whether or not they even exist, or if they're just some rando who set up a job, can rate your audition as 1 star to 5 stars. Now, first off, auditions are very subjective. You never know what one person's going to want. Some people will want conversational, but they want a deep tone. Some people will want an accent, but they want a specific accent from a specific locale in New York. Some people will want a girl's voice, but they want a younger girl's voice, and they don't really know it until they look at the auditions. So maybe they listen to someone and they're like, oh my God, I put in deep voice, and this conversational one is amazing. They might rate the conversational one as a 5-star, and then everyone who followed the deep version is now taking on the 1 star because that person is now rating just to be able to categorize the good people that they want for the job. Some people may just not sound that great for the job, but that doesn't mean they're a bad actor. That just means that the audition doesn't really work for them. So the rating of 1 star could mean a million things. It could mean that you've got a really bad audition that doesn't sound very good, but it also can mean I didn't really like you for this job, therefore I don't really want to categorize you as a 5 stars, even though you've got a great sounding microphone and it's a really professional sound. So me as a professional voice actor, I'll get 1s and I'll get 5s. That's all I'll get. So every 1 star just pisses me off, and every 5 star I'm just like waiting for the job to come in. If Voices.com had done anything similar to this, I would despise it. I think we're, as non-union actors, we are kind of dependent on how we do, and we want to try and figure out how to improve. So when this review system comes up, and it has nothing to do with how good or bad your audition is, sometimes those 1 stars will have to do with your audition, but other times they won't. There's no way to tell. That's the thing. Now, when it comes to both Voices.com and Voice123, sometimes they'll ask you for no Slate. Now, this is a huge pet peeve of mine. I feel like non-union voice actors should definitely Slate. I think that it's, you got to know who's doing it. It's the least we can do is Slate. I think you should hear the person's name, and I think we can use it much better and gain momentum on it. But this growing thing with Voices.com and Voice123 is asking actors not to Slate because it takes them more time to listen to the auditions. And I understand that there's 100 auditions out there, but those are 100 actors who did a free job for you. So I think you should at least hear their name. And especially if it's like a 30-second one, they did the job, and you're probably gonna jump after 10 seconds, at least hear the bloody name. Now, Voices.com claims that they don't give direct MP3s out of the auditions that you send. And that's been directly said by an email of mine, and I think you can see it if you go to the My Tip with Voices.com article on everythingvoiceover.com. Voice123, I have heard from them that directly that they actually do give out the MP3s that you send on their website. Now, that may have changed over the last few years, but when I asked, I was floored to know that they actually give away the MP3s, because I use a lower quality MP3, like a 320 kilobyte MP3, because I want it to sound decent. To think that any of those are used without my permission is a possibility, and hopefully it isn't, but you never know. Now, Voices.com has a great customer service section. I've called them. I've been able to get in touch with them. They've been constantly, they'll call me if they need me for a quick job. They're always there, and they help me in all the situations. I've had a couple situations where the job was supposed to be for 12 o'clock that night, and no one put a lightning thing on it, so I was unable to do it. And they helped me out to either make sure that the job didn't go to me, or helped me make sure that the client got in touch with me. They've been very helpful, and they're constantly helpful. And I think it just comes for the fact that I have a vested interest in making more money by getting you jobs. And they're good people, and I've interacted with them a lot. I've had a few interactions with Voice123 only by mail, because I don't know how their phone works, because the last couple times I've tried, they've never been able to answer. The few times that I did go after them, I had a client that I couldn't get in touch with, and it was months have gone by. And I asked him straight up, I was like, is there anything you can do to get in contact with the client? Is there anything you can do to maybe reimburse me, since this was you were representing him? And they said that they can't help it if a client doesn't pay. That aggravated me immensely. Unfortunately, in that situation, I found the client. Apparently all my emails were sent to the junk box, which I don't necessarily believe, but they ended up giving me the money anyway. I've also been in touch with clients, Voice123, where they have no concept of how to pay for the job. There was one client that I've had, and this won't happen all the time. I know I'm kind of downing on Voice123, but it's just a situation where they have zero vested interest in getting you the job. But this one client was like, I've got the voiceover and I can't pay you until the client that I'm working for pays me. And I had to tell him, listen, it doesn't work like that. You're paying me for a job. Who you are working with that will pay you has absolutely nothing to do with me. And these are the type of things that you get in with when you're having to invoice and go after money for your jobs. And if you're willing to do that and you're a business savvy person and you'll be on the ball with all that stuff, then Voice123 will be great. But I think 100% you have to have Voices.com first, do well on that, and then go after Voice123. Now, Voices.com has a rating system if you complete a job. Plus, you get to rate the client. So first, I think it's first they rate you and then you rate them. I'm not 100% sure. It might be even both ways. So as you do jobs in Voices.com, the better you are, the higher rating you'll get, which is great because you're completing a job. It shouldn't be based off of your auditions. It should be based off of your work. And you'll rate a client based on how they worked with you. And I don't think I've ever given like less than a 5-star rating for any clients because they've all been speedy communication. They've all been amazing. When it comes to Voices.com, everybody's been amazing. I've actually got 350 5-star reviews on Voices.com, and I think having a rating system after it provides you with testimonials that you can use on your website. These are reviews that are posted publicly. You can show off how good you do. Now, once you complete a job in Voice123, it's your job to invoice the client and remind them of payment. You may even be able to get them to pay before a job, which is a possibility, but I've never asked for those options. And that could be an option for Voice123 clients, is to say, hey, you need to pay me first before I do the work, which would guarantee payment. Now, obviously, you probably have guessed, Voices.com is by far better, in my opinion. However, I have both, and I'll explain why. Voice123, I have gotten jobs from, few and far between, but I always occasionally get a job from Voice123. And they do make up for the subscription fee. As far as I'm concerned, it is useful as long as I can make over $400 a year, and that's not that much. So I would recommend this site for people, Voice123. I would recommend it if you're doing well on Voices.com because you're already consistently auditioning and you're auditioning well. And if you're getting jobs there, it's the same type of clientele from Voice123. They're non-union and they're mixed in. It's a mixed bag of good and bad jobs. So if you do well with Voices.com, go ahead, go out for Voice123 or set yourself a goal of getting enough money for Voice123 through Voices.com. Voices.com has been consistently good to me. It has more options, better customer service, a better auditioning system. You don't have to hound your clients for money, and it has a system that's set up that works pretty well. Unfortunately, they get a piece of the pie, but I like that because they have a vested interest. I keep coming back to vested interest because they want you to succeed. Now, I'd recommend Voices.com so if you're looking to do some pay-to-play sites running, you've got your home studio up and running and you want to give it a shot, I'd recommend Voices.com. And if you're good at that, do the Voice123. As for the monthly subscription, I mean, if you want to give it a month-long try, absolutely, give Voices.com a month-long try. I would say make sure, and this is imperative, make sure that you have your recording studio set up the day you sign up. It's $50 a month. You don't want to lose any money, and you want to get all the auditions started and going right away. You will only start seeing jobs if you do all the auditions and keep on the ball and get within those top 20 auditioners. Now, I apologize if this sounded a little critiquey, but it's my personal opinion on this. I want to thank everyone for listening. This has been the Everything Voiceover Podcast. My name is Justin D. Torres. Come by our website, like us on Facebook, retweet us on Twitter. Hope you have a great night, and thank you for listening.